Microsoft recently decided to lay off 10,000 employees, which included important teams part of the VR and AR component of the company. Following a letter to employees by the Microsoft CEO, he states that there will be changes to our hardware portfolio, which not only affected HoloLens, but for all aspects, including the discontinuation of their social VR platform and support for their XR toolkit, popular with developer studios within VR. In this video, we'll dive into Microsoft's decision to drop support of their organic mixed reality department, new information on Apple's Reality Pro, few updates on VR games to include Among Us VR, and something to try out if you're a fan of the NBA. There is a good list of things to cover, so let's get straight into it. The end of October 2022 called for the slowest quarterly growth since 2016 for Microsoft. To account for the declining growth rate of the company, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella stated that Microsoft is letting 10,000 employees by the end of this quarter, March 31st. First and foremost, my condolences go to all of the employees losing their job at Microsoft. I wish the best for them, and I hope that they continue to make a great impact to the world. To add to the news, the layoff had major effects on Microsoft's entire mixed reality lineup. This honestly could have been something that was cooking for some time. Back in October of 22, we got news that Microsoft is cutting back on XR, and there is currently no roadmap to speak of for their professional use headset HoloLens. Around the same time, Meta hosted their annual Meta Connect conference where they announced a partnership between Microsoft and Meta to bring over Microsoft products like Windows, Teams, and Word to run on Meta Quest headsets natively. I may be a little late in connecting the dots, but all of this now makes sense. As Microsoft pretty much gives up on the mixed reality hardware products, they still want to take a part in the movement and decided to support Meta with their software. Meta will get more users to dominate both professional and casual users, and Microsoft, I'm sure, is getting money somehow from this deal. It's a win-win for both parties.
Hey, that's pretty good.
In terms of the VR experience for the community, I think this is a good thing as well. I usually praise competition, as competition between companies is usually a great thing for technological advancement as well as affordability and giving the consumers a choice between products. At least for the next year or two, I believe that Meta Quest headsets will still hold a majority share in the VR market, so having Microsoft support in Meta headsets will give a better experience for the majority of users if they are able to integrate flawlessly. I previously mentioned that Microsoft is changing its hardware lineup, but they're also cutting some of its software side as well. AltSpace VR is a social VR platform released back in 2015 and was acquired by Microsoft in 2017. I was not a part of the VR community during this time, but it seems like AltSpace played an important role in virtual meetings and experiences like group meditation, LGBTQ+ meetups, religious gatherings, karaoke, and much more. Well, starting on March 10th, the lights will be turned off for AltSpace. And that's not all. Mixed Reality Toolkit, or MRTK, is Microsoft's project that helps with mixed reality app development with an open source community. As part of the layoffs, the entire development team for MRTK was eliminated from Microsoft. Microsoft was definitely a part of the trend to invest a sizable amount into mixed reality technology, but for the foreseeable future, they'll be on the support side rather than leading the charge. Now let's shift gears to Microsoft's competitor, Apple. As Apple is getting ready for the release of their upcoming Reality Pro mixed reality headset this year, it seems like we're getting new reports almost on a weekly basis. As we knew for a little while now that Reality Pro might not even get a controller and be completely controlled by hand tracking, we got a new report providing more support for this claim. We got this new report from Mark Gurman, who is probably the most famous guy in leaking Apple-related products, that stated Apple's headset will use eye and hand tracking technology in combination to interact with the interface. This sounds simple and you might think, wait, there are headsets out there with both eye and hand tracking. Yes, we do have Quest Pro, for example, that does both, but Apple's Reality Pro will allow you to look at something using eye tracking and select that item with your fingers through hand tracking.
Just like on a touchscreen, you tap what you want, or on a mouse, you point the cursor toward it and then you click. This is you look and tap your fingers together, so pretty nifty.
This is different than Quest Pro's tracking system, as you have to move your hand and pinch to select an interface, which means you're not really using your eyes to track anything. This feature has been tested using Quest Pro, but it is not supported through an official software update. In the same report, we heard that Reality Pro will use a digital crown, just like the one you see on the side of the Apple Watch, to switch between VR and AR pass-through modes. I'm not sure whether the dial clicks and immediately switches between VR and AR, or as you gradually turn the crown, it slowly turns into VR or AR. As I mentioned previously, there are so many Reality Pro leaks that came out recently, so whenever there's a new report, I'll keep you updated through a video.
Oh my god! Wow!
In the meanwhile, I do have a video dedicated to the headset, so if you're interested, I'll leave the link in the top right corner. If you're watching this video, the chances are that you are a fan of VR, or at least interested in it. Out of you guys, this section is for any NBA fans out there. If you didn't already know, Meta and the NBA are business partners, and they recently extended their partnership by multiple years. I bring this up because right now, you can actually go into Horizon Worlds within your Meta Quest headset to watch live NBA games. There are 52 games that will be broadcasted this season, with 5 of those games being available in a 180-degree monoscopic immersive view. The rest of the games will be watching the game on a massive screen, but within Horizon Worlds. I did attend one of the flat screen games, but it was kinda laggy, so I didn't have the best experience. I'm not sure whether the problem was on the Wi-Fi side or the software side, but if you're interested, it might be something you want to try out. I know Horizon Worlds is not popular relative to other social VR apps, but they'll be launching official NBA licensed merch in the Meta Avatar store in the coming weeks. Let's shift gears and jump into major game updates. Among Us VR was released back in 2022 and is already hitting major milestones as they just sold 1 million copies of the game in about 2 months since the release. The game's popularity shouldn't stop here. Shell Games, the game studio behind Among Us VR, also shared the game's roadmap for 2023. Under the coming soon section, we see custom lobby settings, which is something I really want, as well as the rest of the Among Us VR community basically begging for it. Under the same section, we have in-game reporting and voice chat moderation, which should help eliminate the toxic players within the game. Other plans for 2023 include new hats, a new map, improved accessibility, collabs, and Discord shenanigans, which I'm not really sure what that means, plus more. Even without these features, Among Us VR is still super fun, but having continuous updates for features requested by the community will allow the game to be played for as long as possible. Another game to be excited about is Thrill of the Fight 2.
Another one.
The original Thrill of the Fight is still to this day one of the best VR sports games available, and I have mentioned multiple times on this channel how much you sweat playing this game. The sequel will be developed by Halfbrick, the game studio behind Fruit Ninja, alongside the original game developer that produced the first game. We still don't have details on a release window, so for all we know, it could be a few months away or even years away. I don't say this enough, but thank you always for watching the video. I will continue to cover VR news, updates, and reviews, so if you're interested, feel free to subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video.